Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Small Business Survival Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Anna Steinfest, and today is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Nicole Boyington. She's the president and CEO of Dyslexia Achievement Center. I know that probably I have to read her whole resume and it will take me 2 days. So that's why I will be smart and ask Nicole to introduce herself, tell us about herself, and of course, what inspired you, Nicole, to start Dyslexia Achievement Center.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Well, I've been an occupational therapist for 26 years. I've taught at the university level, and then I've been a mom for 15 years, and that led me to being a dyslexia interventionist for the last 8 years. Basically, we all want our children to be happy, healthy, and when our daughter was born, she was early walker, she was early with talking. And then we started noticing that she was falling behind at school, started asking questions, ended up, the school eventually told us she didn't need to learn how to read, which made me cringe, and say some pretty nasty things. Because for me,
It's challenging.
no,
Yes, as a parent,
no.
yes, you don't, yes.
No, you would never want that to be told to you. Because even for functional reasons, right? How would she read a menu? How would she see a danger sign? How would she exit a building? Like, there's so many things outside of just reading for academics that you need to read in our society. So I found somebody who did dyslexia assessments and interventions, and that kind of made me fall down the rabbit hole. And she encouraged me to get trained, and I did. And then she mentored me. And then when she decided to retire, I bought her business from her, and then I totally changed it.
Well, that's huge to purchase a business, to take over, and then pivot it. We call it in the business world usually change or pivot. That's the fab word right now. It takes a lot of guts. It takes guts to think about that you started from, occupational therapist, which is I will say, very comfortable position in life
Yes.
with paycheck.
Yes.
And, everything was steady. And suddenly you decide to enter this entrepreneur chaos.
Yes.
I will say, I'm sorry. I know that a lot of our listeners, small business owners, so here we have to be blunt and say the way it is. So entering that, can you walk us at the beginning? What happened? Because I'm sure at the beginning you were saying, okay, I will buy the business. It's easy, no
Yes.
worries. But when you enter, and what happened? Because we have
Yeah.
a little bit of a similar stories there. What happened then?
Well, when I bought the business, it was in one location, and we had 6 independent contractors. And then I started working with my lawyer, and she said, well, they're not really independent contractors if you're doing all this stuff for them. They're employees. So my long-term goal was, yes, to make them employees, but that became the same year kind of a thing, which that was a lot of things really that I had to learn, right? I had to learn about taxes and employment, HR stuff, all this. It was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot to learn in a very short time. But luckily,
Probably,
go ahead.
probably language you don't even knew before existed.
No,
Like you said, okay, this taxes, and that was not in your vocabulary
no,
before that.
no, because I just had been planning to just continue it as it was,
Mhm.
for a little bit to get used to it. And then obviously that didn't really happen. And then we ended up, well, okay, now we're employees. Well, now we need to change like a lot of our policies too, because employees are very different than independent contractors. And so some of the things that were working, we needed to really change our way of doing business completely. So it was a lot, and I stayed up late a lot, and I learned from videos and reading and talking to other business owners to kind of get me through that path. And then every year since, we've changed a lot every year. So kind of went from the 6 people to 15 people and then to 20 people. And this year we're at 35 employees.
Wow. Just
So it
think
just keeps
about the
going.
scale. I know, but with every level, it's
Yep,
getting it's getting different type of challenges.
it
But
is.
before again we go and dive into the business world, I want to focus a little bit on dyslexia
Okay.
because as we know, dyslexia impacts so many families. I
Mhm.
would like to share with us and our listeners what's one misconception about dyslexia that you wish every parent, educator, or even business leader understand.
I think the biggest myth that's out there is that somebody with dyslexia cannot read at all. And I think that doesn't give the whole picture, and it also doesn't help people who have dyslexia and can read get the accommodations that they need. Because really, dyslexia is very diverse and it can impact your spelling, it could impact your reading comprehension. Yes, some students can't read until they learn a different way, but that's not that common. Usually they have some reading skills before they even come to us. So I think that's something that is a misconception that kind of hurts our students a lot.
What can you give one tip? I know it's there is a lot, but one tip to our parents or educators how they can recognize, because like you said, they probably read but they're falling behind, but they have not been assessed that they will be dyslexics.
Correct. Right now, we're still not really screening. There's a screener out, but it's not really catching dyslexia. It might just catch them when they're very behind, which is usually a little bit too late for our kids. They need to be identified as early as possible so we can kind of remap the brain and so that they can learn how to read a different way. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny some of the red flags that you have to look for. Dyslexia is a language based diagnosis. So, word finding issues, having speech when they were little, not being able to learn the alphabet when they were little, having trouble with spelling, or maybe they read slow and choppy, or they skip words while reading, or maybe they have to read things a few times before they understand it. We see that a lot with our high school and college students that they'll have to read it 3, 4 times and then they understand what they read. And some of them have to say it out loud so that they can hear it and then they understand what they're reading. So and our kids are, and the students, we also serve adults. Um, they are so smart and they compensate so well that sometimes it's really hard to catch that.
It's hidden. It's hidden can handicap, I should say.
Yeah.
So, for parents and educators, please make sure that you think about maybe it's dyslexia. Maybe my student is not or kid is not stupid, but
Mhm.
maybe there is something additional underlining going on. And so I really wanted just to focus a little bit on that. I know that we are focusing on business. We have not forgot about that. So we'll go back right now into the business. And I know that you recently graduated from the Green Bay Packers Mentor-Protégé program. Of
I
course,
did.
we have to talk about that. Can you tell us your biggest takeaways? Or what did you learn and what you're doing right now that you did not do prior to entering the program?
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest takeaway was really how they talk about the resources, they give your encouragement, and then they also give us a lot of ways to practice what they're teaching us So it becomes a habit. Like looking at my financials wasn't really something that I did every month like I should have, because I didn't realize that that was a monthly thing. I thought it was more of a quarterly thing, but you really should be more on top of it than that. But you learn as you go.
That's right. But I think that's what helps you because a lot of business owners, if they're not in the financial world,
Mhm.
they hate looking at financing. I mean, I'm being honest. Sometimes I'm like, really, it's this month, but yes, you have to look at your having a habit to look at your financials because that influence your business decisions. I
It
mean,
does.
in your case, and especially you mentioned that you start hiring
Hmm.
new people. I'm sure that looking at your financials, you knew exactly when to bring new people. It doesn't matter that maybe there's a lot more work out there.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that was also hard to, when you're in a period of growth and we feel like we've been in this growth period for a while, it is kind of difficult because we can see the next step. We just sometimes have to slow it down a little bit before you get to that next step. Otherwise, you can get in trouble with financials because your business, you're ready to go, but your business might need a little bit more time to before it can grow that way.
And can you tell us how did you start scaling? Because I think a lot of business owners, we hesitate to delegate.
Hmm.
And when you don't delegate, you're the bottleneck of your business. How did you kind of decide, okay, I'm going to scale right now and I have to delegate? Can you walk us through, give us some tips?
Um, yeah, I mean, I probably didn't do it quite the right way because I could see the opportunities and then I would go for them, then realized I couldn't handle the everything myself. So then I started, first I got an admin assistant and then I started getting my VP because starting to make that organizational hierarchy was really important, because I can't do everything anymore and I had to be willing to say that, which I think you probably know, Ann, that's really hard for us entrepreneurs to do. I think we can do everything and we can't.
The
But then,
best, everything the best.
yes,
Yes. And we don't want our baby to be somewhere, somebody to touch it. So yeah,
correct.
I think that's why if you can give us a little glimpse or little tips, how did you shake it off?
Um, Well, I did it one piece at a time. Really, I had to do it slowly, and I gave one thing, and then I taught how to do that, and then we kind of reviewed it, and then of course I got faster at it after I realized yes, they can do it, and I don't need to be the one to do it. So I think once you start validating that, once you start teaching the way that you have put things together, people can follow that, and that you have it written down in, like an SOP or something, people can actually do that, then I think you feel better as an entrepreneur to give those things away.
And are you scared sometimes that if this person you just educated and trained
Hmm.
uh, it will leave, then do you have to start from
Start
zero?
over. Yeah,
Yes.
I did that with the admin assistant 4 times. So yes, I did.
Yes, yes. Can you help us with that? I'm the devil's advocate here because I know that we play that in our mind over and over again.
Yes.
But you went through that and you had like
Yep.
four.
But for the small time that they stayed, it was really nice to be able to focus on my business instead of in my business. And I think that was where I had that aha moment of I cannot grow if I can't see the big picture and be on the business and if I'm doing the day-to-day stuff. So I think, that gave me glimpses of that. So I kept pushing forward to hire more and train them again and try again.
And I heard you saying you have a written SOPs too.
Yes, we have a
So
lot of them written. I'm still working on some because obviously with every piece of growth, we change some things because unfortunately the SOP doesn't work anymore. So you just gotta keep going and keep, um, redefining kind of what you're doing in the the policies and the practices and make sure that it still aligns with what is happening during your growth period, I guess.
Wow, that's amazing. So, I mean, you have to just update and
Hmm.
continue and focus more on expansion.
Yeah.
First, I just wanted to tell you that I know you were recognized on the inaugural V200 list as one of the 200 women entrepreneurs nationwide for building a people first business. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What does that recognition mean to you, and how does putting people first shape every decision you make, Nicole?
Um, I mean, it means a lot to me to be recognized that people are noticing how we run our business. It's very difficult actually to run a business and keep people first, especially these days and age. You have to be really aware and strategic when you're forming relationships and explaining why you need to change something. And I think because I'm very open with our customers on why we're changing things, they understand. If you explain to them why you have to make this policy change or why you're changing something, they seem to be more open to the change. And I think that really helps keep the people first because you're still talking to them every day. You're still interacting with them. You're finding what they need. But yeah, it's not as easy as you would think it would be.
But I mean, you are mission driven
Yes.
company. So you run with your mission. However, sometimes maybe there is a struggles, and like you said, there is a lot of complexity because a lot of times you always lead with your heart. But
Yes.
when the financial said this way, so you still have to have a balancing act.
Right. And I think that's was a hard part for me to learn when I first started because really I got into it because of my children, right? And I saw all these other children with needs. Um, but I think I've grown a lot as a leader in being able to say, okay, I understand that this is why I cannot be as cheap as I want to be,
Yeah.
but because I have to pay for the rent, I have to pay all the overhead, and I have to pay the people who do it. But I think making decisions based on that and being able to follow the mission as closely as possible is really important to me. But that's why we got to find fiscal agent, and we can give scholarships now. We've only had it for about a year, and we've already given 5 scholarships for assessments, 9 families, and over 265 interventionist hours. And that was only in our first year, so we just doubled what we did at our golf outing. So we're hoping to double that number for next year. So even though, yes, it's mission driven, and I know that I still have to follow the business, I'm trying to think outside the box to help as many families as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. Like you said, being creative. But again, you have to think about you need that business to support more people
Correct.
because you have, we call it patients or clients, but you have your
Mhm.
tutors. They have
Correct.
families too.
Yeah,
So it is very unique business.
it
But
is.
I'm so happy that, I mean, you understand that if you want a business, you have to make sure that you make some sacrifices and you kind of balance all these together. Since starting the Dyslexia Achievement Center, what is the proudest moment?
Ooh,
Oh, you
proudest.
have probably a lot. I know you have a lot. I'm sure you have a lot.
Yeah.
But
Wow. I mean, I guess proudest moment I would say would be honestly being able to serve the students that we do in the schools.
Nice.
Last year, we partnered with a group of Catholic schools in Milwaukee, and obviously Milwaukee has a low literacy rate. And we were able to show that our intervention increased their ability to read by they 97% of them met their goals for the end of the year by November. And then we had to update the goals. And so that they progressed way faster than we were originally thinking. And then the one person that didn't, they had multiple other things going on, but they did not decline at all. So they stayed on task. So just knowing what
Knowing
we've
you,
done in
the
those
impact.
schools, the
Yes.
impact
The
has been
impact you're making, it's fantastic. Oh, you're changing all these, I know I also said kids' lives and their future.
yes.
Because if you can help them get to the next level, their future will be brighter than just check mark it. I went to school, I did not even finish school, and now you're giving them a different glimpse of their future. Wow, that's amazing, Nicole. Thank you. Now we are going back into the entrepreneurial world, and I would like you to give advice to our entrepreneurs who are listening and they're trying to build a business, again, hopefully with a purpose and an impact. What will be your advice to them?
I mean, I think my advice would be get a good mentor, network with other business owners as much as you can, and know that you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and that's okay as long as you can kind of take a deep breath and then get past it and correct whatever you made a mistake in, because it will happen.
And I love that because what you're telling them is that's not a mistake, that's a lesson.
Mhm. Yes,
And yes, we will look at that mistake as a lesson, but don't repeat it.
right.
Continue. I love that. I love that advice. Now, looking ahead for your business, do you have anything exciting coming up?
Well, we've added another school to our school contracts for this next school year and possibly two more that we're working with. We also are hoping our goal is to expand outside of southeast Wisconsin to central Wisconsin and then towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Eventually, we want to be everywhere, but baby steps.
Wow. Expansion, expansion, expansions. That is fantastic. And finally, because we are on Small Business Survival Conversations podcast, I always like to end up by asking, what does survival in business mean to you, and what has kept you moving forward even during the toughest moments?
Yeah, I think survival in business is don't look back, acknowledge your mistakes or lessons that you've made, ask for help when you need it. And really, I keep going because I really have to remember how I impact all the students' lives and also their families' lives by working with them.
Wow. Nicole, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your fabulous, fabulous success. We know that you put a lot of work, very well deserved recognition with V200 and bright future ahead of you. And thank you also for bringing all this impact to population that they need assistance, and sometimes we forget about them, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.